Hi, my name is Becky Jennings, and this is the ResponseABLE Parenting Podcast. I give you the transformational tools to stop reacting to your children in the moment and start responding with intention. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of ResponseABLE Parenting. My name is Becky Jennings. Today, we're going to dive into the juiciness of nervous systems and feelings. And I wanted to kick it off with a quote that I heard, and gosh, I wish I could figure out where I had heard it. I listened to a lot of podcasts. I don't know exactly which podcast it was, but I know I wrote it down because it just hit me so strongly. But man, I wish I could give credit to who said it because it is genius and I love it. And it's raw and really straight to the point. So here is what hit me so hard. Everything we want in our homes and our lives is on the other side of the feelings we think we can't feel. The actual line between where we are and where we want to go is entirely dependent on the feelings we are willing to feel or not in our nervous system. Oh my gosh, if that is not so accurate, I don't know what else to say. I feel like I should just turn off the microphone and not even say another word because that in and of itself is enough to think about for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. Everything we want, every relationship we want, the internal sensations we want in our bodies, the way we want to present ourselves in the world, the dynamics we want at work, all of that is entirely dependent on the feelings we are willing or not willing to feel within our nervous system. It's stunning. It always comes back to feelings. And it always comes back to giving ourselves the support around those feelings so that we can continue to show up in ways that feel good to us. It doesn't feel good to live in a place of fear, shame, sadness. It doesn't feel good to constantly question your value, your worth, your enoughness. It doesn't feel good to glean all of your sense of self based off how you think you fit in with other people, what you imagine that they're thinking about you. None of that feels good. But yet, unless we dive in and explore those feelings, then it's holding us back from experiencing all of the rest, all of the juiciness and joy and magic that exists when you can stand in your authentic self and have gone through the work, processed what you've experienced and how you feel. A lot of these feelings are very subconscious and kind of when you start digging down, you're like, wait, that's why I felt the way I felt? Like that one moment in fourth grade or whatever, when somebody said that, I didn't realize that I had put that into the memory bank and I started viewing things through that lens and that filter. But it's very easy to continue to move away from that, but just kind of justify and validate that this is why you feel the way you feel, or externalize it or make it somebody else's fault. That is very easy and a tremendously successful coping skill. It's so much harder to invest the time, the energy, and to open yourself up to experiencing all of that because it can be painful. Reliving these fears, tapping into these wounds is really hard. I get that. And it's also the greatest gift you can give to yourself. And my absolute hands down, no matter what, the greatest gift you can give to your children. the more we can work on ourselves, the more we can show up for them, and the more we can view those feelings, experience those feelings, sit in the discomfort, do all of the hard work. The more we can do that and see that as like a good thing, like forward progress and momentum, and not something that's validating and justifying and proving that we see we're damaged, see we're not good enough, see all these storylines. As long as we're not, using that to prove the storyline, but we're showing our children that we can go back and repair, and we can go back and address things, and we can heal things that didn't feel good, and we can stand up against something that hurt us, and we can then own that part of our lives and create an inner safety within our own selves. Man, what a gift for our children to see that type of human evolution and growth. As we know, it takes a village to raise our children, but more and more, we are doing the entire job on our own, and that stops today. I have created a parent community app focused directly on giving you essential support tools. The ResponseABLE Parenting Community Group is available now. In this community, you will have more parenting strategies right at your fingertips. You'll have direct access to me and my coaching every month in our live Q&As, where you can bring your burning parenting questions and get my real-time support. I will host monthly exclusive workshops, facilitate weekly skill-building exercises, and more. This space is designed to meet you where you are at on your parenting journey. It's a judgment-free zone with parents and caregivers who are learning and growing right alongside of you. For less than $1 a day, you will have access to exclusive parenting content and coaching. I cannot wait to be a bigger part of your parenting journey. Head over to ResponseABLEParenting.com to join today. Enter promo code PODCAST to receive $10 off your first month. That's PODCAST for $10 off your first month. To not repeat patterns and cycles of trauma and abuse, and not continuing to live those cycles, not continuing to live those traumas from generations before us. Just because it was passed down to us doesn't mean it's ours, truthfully. And those feelings, when you actually tap in and sit in the discomfort, that is where the growth happens. That is the actual line between where we are and where we want to go, is sitting in that discomfort, acknowledging it, apologizing to it, retelling that story, owning whatever part you had and participated in that, if there was, and just really allowing yourself the grace and the understanding that, yes, this was true, is true, and this is where I want to be. So every single day, I'm going to do what I need to do, soothe, comfort, support, and actively take steps to heal that part of me. I always say, if you're over here and you're feeling this discomfort and you don't like it and you don't want to be there, and it's not serving you, it's not serving your relationships, it's not serving your children, it's not feeling good, and it doesn't feel like where you want to live your life in or from, that's here. And then way on the other side is this grand vision of where you want to be. The other side of all that you want in life, all the relationships you want, all the dynamics you want, that's on the other side. And that can feel so far away that it's almost impossible to reach. Like, why even try? Because that is so unattainable. Yet the desire is there, the potential is there. There's just a really big line of feelings in between that are painful, charged, And there's a lot of fear around feeling those again. So what I like to say is when you're over here and you're feeling all of those things, but you're stuck in that groove and it doesn't feel good, what is one micro, tiny, safe step you can take to move 1 millimeter away from that feeling, away from that moment, away from that experience, and do something that feels so wonderful to you, that gets you one micro step closer to this dream that you see for yourself over here. I'm not expecting any person ever at any point in life to just make this grand leap, because that would actually totally feel dysregulating for your nervous system and feel very scary. And it just, quite frankly, wouldn't work. But these very safe steps that you can take every single day to move in the direction is everything. Because over time, you'll start to gain momentum and you can look back and say, look at how far I am away from that experience, away from that trauma. And I have decided to take my feelings into my own hands. And I have decided that I'm not giving the power away anymore. I am not giving my power away anymore to those experiences, to that person, to those feelings. I acknowledge they are true. I am validating that experience. I am sitting in that discomfort. I am healing myself from that. And I am taking steps, micro safe steps, to move away from that so that doesn't continue to be the lens and the narrator of my story. Everything we want in our homes and in our lives is on the other side of the feelings we think we can't feel. The actual line between where we are and where we want to go is entirely dependent on the feelings we are willing to feel or not in our nervous system. I will let that quote just sit. I wish I knew who that came from. And if you heard it too, and you know where it came from, please let me know so that I can correct it. But I just wanted to let that sit. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for listening to the ResponseABLE Parenting Podcast. If you like what you heard, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. If you know someone who would benefit from this podcast, I'd be honored if you'd share this episode with them. Until next time, know that you are enough, you are capable, you've made it through all of your hardest days, and we will keep growing on this parenting journey together. This podcast was produced by Kim Kelty and myself, Becky Jennings, and edited by the Kelty Method, Branding and Podcasting.